What's up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How is your day?
How was your week?
How is your week?
Life.
Going. I was going to say year because it's the end of the year. So I was thinking and whatever. But how was your year?
It's the end of the year.
It is the end of the year.
And before we do anything else, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you'll see all the ways that you can follow the show. Make sure you give us your name and your email when the little pop-up comes up. So that way you guys can stay in touch with us and we can stay in touch with you so that when we say something crazy, we can, and things get taken down or whatever, we can still get a hold of you guys. Why are you pointing at me?
Because everyone knows that listens to us. It's going to be you.
But and you can also click around and see how you can support the show and how you can follow the show. You can find us on all the social media at Opposite Pod or just search Opposites Attract Podcast. And the best thing that you can do is share this with somebody else. Follow our, subscribe to our Clips channel on YouTube, which has a handful of subscribers still. So we definitely need to get everybody over to that one and find the clip that you like and share it with somebody else.
Yes. So,
It's the end of the year.
Yep. Christmas went well. I've been very selfish with my time with you and the kids and just taking advantage of the time that we have together. And
that's good. That's what this time of year is about.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And of course, there is Miguel.
And it's about this too. Having drinks, having a good time, enjoying yourself.
Yes. Miguel's been really enjoying himself.
Holy shit.
No, it's been a good time. There's a lot going on right now in my head.
You were just crying a second ago.
Yeah.
You're like going through a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh my God.
What? Now you're laughing.
Well, I was listening to that song at first.
The one where they bust wide open?
No, the one before that. And
All My Life. All my life. All my life.
And then just, I had a Zoom call this morning. Like I said, I've been very selfish with my time, but I felt called to schedule this Zoom before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I know why now, but I was playing back the conversation that her and I had. And let me just share with you. So there's the Ultimate Coach group that I am a part of, and you have coaches all around the world in this group. And then you just have individuals that are in to learn from us.
Okay. Right? They just want to be around that
environment,
energy, those people, the thoughts and all that.
Yes. So we play bingo in this group, and those of us that want to volunteer or want to play, they have this system where I don't know how they do it, but whoever decides that they want to play bingo, you get to schedule a Zoom call with these coaches, like whoever is chosen for you. And you don't know
like
who
you guys
they
are matched. You get paired up somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't know. Yeah. You don't know how. You don't know who. And then you just get a private message saying, okay, so your bingo partner is this. Feel free to reach out to them and schedule the connect call.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest shit because every person that I have connected with in this group has been very meaningful.
Yeah.
Whether it's me helping them or them helping me, it's just like it's meant to be. Crazy shit, right? So I get Maureen. She's from Germany. And so I go to her profile and I look, and she's a yoga instructor. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we schedule this time. And then today we started talking. And while I'm talking to her, like something just comes up. Like I'm sharing with her, and every call is different. Like every call is different. But this call, for some reason, I felt that I needed to share with her us, like our relationship, like how we started, the challenges and obstacles that we've been through and what we've been able to overcome and what led us to where we are today.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I'm not sure why this is coming up for me or why I'm sharing this, but I'm going to continue to share what I feel I need to share with you. And then, you know,
you can keep talking.
And as I'm sharing with her, like, just our beginning that led us to where we are today, she is just bawling. She's like bawling. You walked in, I think.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
No, you were fine. I was just talking to her, talking about you to her. No,
yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, you are very intuitive.
Yeah.
And she started sharing with me her past relationships and the block that she has had in those relationships. And everything I shared with her was something that helped her to understand that blockage and what's been happening with her and the relationships.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it was a very emotional call because she's tearing up, and me, I see someone tearing up and I can feel her heart and I can see like in her face
that it's affecting her.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was a beautiful call. And then I got an inbox from another friend who wants to acknowledge me and asked me a few questions.
Yeah.
And I had shared them with you. And it came to me like it's difficult to speak highly of yourself. And it's so easy to speak highly of others. So she asked me these 3 questions. Do you remember them? One is like,
it's kind of like something about you that would impact somebody else greatly. Like something that you could share to somebody else about you that would impact somebody else greatly.
Yeah. And I had a difficult time, though.
But there's so many ways you could answer, that type of question. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But just, realizing the awareness that it's it's challenging to talk about me. Not that I don't think highly of me, but it's just awkward.
Yeah. I've had that issue recently. Because I think, man, I was just thinking, for me, like this last year has been life-changing. But really,
40's the number.
It is.
You've heard me say this on other episodes.
There's
40
just been
is the number.
A lot of things that I've, like, it's all kind of coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
like making
sexy.
sense of everything.
So sexy to see you go through this.
Thanks, babe. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't, and that's the other thing. It's like, I don't want to say it. Like, but at a certain point, like, you kind of, and I don't know if everybody gets there, but once you start seeing things how they are,
mm-hmm.
you start figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I know there's certain things that at a certain point, what you're talking about. Right? And I tell Joey, and it's like, I'm not like this fucking scholar. I'm just your dad. I'm the dude down the street. But I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I have this fucking, it's kind of almost like one of those down to the core type things. Kind of how people feel maybe about certain things, but I have a feeling that there's things that have happened this year that have helped me put things together. Like an understanding of how things are and why things are the way they are. But there is also like a humility part that doesn't want you to be fucking rubbing that shit in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like that Bruce Lee thing, the signpost. Like, who am I to like say that this is? I have a pretty good fucking idea, but you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Today.
We were talking to Joey about that.
Yeah. That's what I was.
Right?
And it's because I was listening to the audio, The Way of Mastery. I think that's one of the thickest books I've ever read.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still reading it and listening to it because it's that in depth. Like, it's just that. And understanding it. And you walked in when they were talking. He was talking about conditioning.
Yeah.
And that it all starts. First starts with the parents.
Yeah. And at this point, we've seen enough. We've learned enough to understand that your conditioning is everywhere. And
conditioning. Explain what conditioning is for those that may have not been listening to previous episodes where we talked about it.
Conditioning,
or I can break it down.
Conditioning is kind of, it's pretty much anything that it has you identify with something.
Beliefs.
It's beliefs and things that have us, because a conditioning could be as easy as like a political party. Mm-hmm. Conditioning could be a military branch. Mm-hmm. Like this one's better than the other.
Or religion.
Or the military period.
Mm-hmm.
Like the military can do no wrong. They are to be held in this regard. Mm-hmm. They are to be idolized. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
That comes with conditioning. Teachers, what we're taught in school. Mm-hmm. How the world works. How you have to, the systems that we follow. The court systems. These are all ideas that are made up. Yes, some of them we follow, some of them we believe, but they all condition us. They all brainwash us in a way, right? Like one of the examples that I was giving Joey is like, yeah, I could see how you would want to be proud of where you're from. Like I'm proud to be from Arizona, like here, but to have pride in like the shape of my state or something, like what are these lines? Who made up, like even just to understand what Arizona is, somebody named it that.
Right.
This land that we are proud of, somebody named it that. And who was that person? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and people will die for that shit. Like for some of these fucking beliefs that they have.
Yeah.
You know, and I like how Joey answered it at first. I was like, so, because I was trying to get to like, who are you?
He heard our conversation. And he told Miguel.
He's like, I'm a human.
I believe, he told Miguel, I believe that too, Dad. I believe we're all brainwashed. I think he said that. And then me, because I'm wanting to know more, like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean to you? Because I wanted to know, what does that mean to him? Because he's hearing our adult conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, and part of it also is understanding that if you're listening to this, just the fact that you are listening to this through headphones, probably from your phone or your iPod, probably not, not anymore, you know, through your whatever app you're listening to, probably got it off the internet on Wi-Fi. You're at a certain level of, sophistication, or you have a certain amount of technology, money to be able to access this stuff. There's other people in the world that can't even do this, right. Can't even listen. Because they don't have access to this stuff. They're working in fucking mines all day. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. And when you understand that you're lucky to be born with all, it's part of this perspective thing. Like, how could you not be, no matter where you're at in this country, be grateful? because you could be working in a mine with no shoes, digging for our fucking cell phone batteries.
Or like that documentary you had me watching.
I'm sorry. That's part of that fucking Debbie Downer thing that I was talking about last podcast. That's how that comes up. I'm sorry for fucking ruining everybody's day that's listening to this podcast right now. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, to understand, like, that we identify with these things so much and that they make us who we are. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't. Yeah. We're just, like Joey said, the first thing that I asked him was, like, what makes you who you are? He's like, I'm human.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this conversation, same conversation I was having with Audrey. Because so many of us don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. Some of the thoughts that we have are not even our thoughts. They're thoughts that were implanted into us.
Yeah. From
our parents. Or maybe educators, or maybe the church you go to, whatever it may be.
Society.
And that's why meditating is so important. Like just sitting in stillness and being with you and asking yourself these questions. Like, who am I? Who am I? What is it that I want in life? Like, what drives me?
Yeah. Why? Why do any of this fucking shit? At the end of the day.
When I think back to that little 9-year-old Sonia.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when I think of why at that age I made a decision to become an attorney. Even though I didn't become that, but the reason behind that was because of the lack of finances. And the only thing I knew that would an attorney or a doctor, and I knew for sure I didn't want to be a doctor. But it wasn't because that's where my heart lied. That was just because as a little girl, yeah. And that fear is what drove
No fucking kid. What kid is like, I want to be an attorney when I grow up? You know, it's like, who wants to first? Sorry if there's any attorneys listening, and we know some very nice attorneys.
Yes,
but who the fuck wants a call from an attorney? Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know. But I'm saying, like, what little kid is like, I would love to be an attorney, fucking calling people and ruining their day, and shit like that. I'm sorry. There are attorneys like that you call them and they help you through stuff. But man, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids don't normally think of that shit. This just you knew attorneys make money, right? Yeah. Attorneys and doctors, you were saying, right?
That's one, right? That's the other was making the decision at a young age, like, I never want to get married.
Yeah.
Why? Because of everything that I was seeing and hearing and listening and experiencing.
Yeah.
All of that. I don't want kids either. All of that came from that. And none of it was true. The story was not true.
Yeah.
And there's so many things like that we adults base our decisions on, base our actions on. It just makes us who we are, but that's not really who we are. And it takes slowing down and shutting out the noise and questioning.
Yeah.
In order for these things to be revealed.
Find out what's real and what's important, These stories, the conditioning and all this stuff. I had a talk with Audrey about this stuff. And this is something that I've been waiting to talk to you about.
You've been so good. I'm proud of you.
Because I've been hearing it. You hear it a lot lately. And we have another daughter, an older daughter, who is turning 18 soon. And she's getting her life going, right? And you just keep hearing about how it's so hard for young people to make it these days. Like to be able to afford an apartment or to be able to put a down payment down on a house. Mm-hmm. Like times change. Nothing stays the same. But our kids are expected to just fucking get out there and make it happen and do it. Mm-hmm. But things change. And Audrey is 14. She wants to get a car, and she's thinking, she's getting older. Maybe a handful of years from moving out of the house. But that's what you're supposed to do, right? And I was telling her, I was like, look, I don't know what's happening in the world. We were going to drop some stuff off or go pick something up. And I'm like, I'm not sure what's happening in the world exactly. I was like, but I've been hearing that it's a lot harder for kids these days. Like to just be on their own. And I was like, I just want you to know that we don't play by anybody's rules. I was like, we are going to take care of each other. And we will figure it all out together. Like, if you have to stay with us and live with us so that you can save money, like whatever needs to happen is going to happen.
Right.
But it's not like this is what society says needs to happen and this is what you need to do because we got this agenda and we got big plans and stuff going on. No, right. we'll figure it out together. We take care of our people. Right? These are our kids, but yes. I'm just saying, when it comes down to it, Yeah. And I was telling her that because things change, I was like, we want to set things up so that it's not difficult when it comes time for us to pass. We're talking about shit like this.
Yeah.
But you just never know. And I was talking to Audrey about Asian cultures and how Asian cultures, how you're raised with this respect, which there's problems with that too. You always have to question, always. But there should be a respect and like an honor for your elders. They have a lot of that in Asian cultures, which can be admired.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you can't question, things go wrong. I've learned that with like aviation videos where planes crash because they don't question the captain because he's the senior guy. But when you respect the elders and the elders teach the young ones how to survive and become successful and become a good person, and then the elders can't do things for themselves anymore because they get older. Like we were watching that video about that 97-year-old guy.
Yes.
And I was telling you that one thing that I can see maybe struggling with is having to ask for help because I am somebody that does a lot of things on my own. And eventually my strength will go away. And that is something that I'm going to have to, it's not something that I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with. I'm going to just have to ask for help. It is what it is. I have to accept that.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
We talked about this before with your grandfather. Nano.
Yeah.
Because Nano was that, right?
Yeah.
Like Nano was that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, once I get older, if you've done things right, the younger generation should want to take care of you.
Right. Yeah.
It should be an honor for them to take care of you because of everything that you've taught them and everything that they sacrifice for you.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Audrey about these things. And just in that moment, I was like, kind of seems like that's the way things should be.
It feels right.
It feels right.
It feels right. And I didn't even know about that. I didn't know about their culture like that until my lady who does my nails.
But if you think about tribes, like how would they take care of each other? It seems like that's how they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the gal who who was doing my nails at the time was telling me that her 40-year-old son decided to move out, and she was so sad.
Yeah. Her 40-year-old
Her 40-year-old
son.
son. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way it should be, I think.
Yeah. She was
Right?
sad that he was moving out.
Yeah.
And
Where's
she's
he
the one
moving?
who
Hopefully
shared
not
with
too
me.
far, right?
Right. But what he found a girlfriend, or
Yeah.
they were getting married, and yeah. And she's like, I was hoping that they were going to live with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know, and it also kind of makes me sad because I think about my mom and the situation, because she's in a very similar situation with my stepdad. And I don't want to put all their business out there, but I also thought about like how a couple episodes we were talking about airplanes and how airplanes have made things so that people can fly and travel when maybe we don't evolve that fast, and maybe we shouldn't be traveling all across the country. Like, because like what we're talking about now, it seems like that would happen a lot more if you all lived in your little area, right?
Yeah.
If you couldn't just fucking jump on a plane and end up in California or
Then
New
we'd
York
all
and
be
just
together.
restart, you know,
Yeah.
like we haven't changed that much, like physically and like our features, you know, in years. So that's the way it would happen.
Yeah.
I always kind of go back to that type of stuff because that seems like the most natural to me, you know?
Yeah.
That's the way it would naturally happen.
Yeah, I was telling Audrey, she's so funny because she's like talking about when she turns 18 that she's going to get her own place, and she's excited about it, but she wants to get a house in our area, like on our block. And I'm just thinking to myself, do you know how much these houses go for?
She can
but
do
I
it.
don't want to, you know, like
Discourage her.
I don't
She
know.
can do
I
it.
don't want to discourage her, and she can do it. You know, there's different ways to go about it. You get friends.
It's all going to be
roommates,
hers anyway.
You know?
Hers and the kids. Because we can't take it with us.
Yeah. Speaking of all this, like I think in the last episode, were we talking about becoming minimalist?
Yes. I don't know if we mentioned it, but we've been talking about it recently. Getting rid of all our shit and
It's
organizing
like,
stuff.
You just realize like what's really important. And having so much that can be donated and given to someone that needs.
Yeah. And I think it comes in phases too. I mean, we all kind of we just like fucking pick up shit. We're like a piece of bubble gum rolling around, just picking up shit as it goes along. You know, because the thing is, like, I mean, everybody goes through that shit. Like, you have some people more than others, you know, but everybody, I think, like, buys stuff. And then at a certain point, you're like, damn, I got a lot of shit. We got to get rid of some of this stuff. Yeah. The only thing is that some people can't get rid of it. Then they get storages and all that kind of stuff.
No. Yeah. But you and we've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
we should make a rule. No storage. If we have to fucking put it in storage, it's not that important.
Look, we had a sound system that we bought how long ago?
Oh, the surround sound for the
surround
TV
sound,
is like 8 years old.
It was beat up.
It was chewed up by our dog.
It was beat up, but it still worked. Most people.
It had like fabric on the front of it.
It had.
And when the sound would hit, the fabric would like flap in the wind.
But it still sounded good. And the reason it did that was because our dog would get crazy.
Chewed it to shreds.
And just, whenever she would see a dog on TV, whatever. So we just replaced that.
Yeah, it got destroyed and it looked like shit, but for the longest, like, it worked.
We do good because
It
we
worked.
normally don't replace shit until it's broken. We've talked about
we've done
this.
pretty good.
We laughed our asses off, all of us, those that listen to us, when we were talking about our toaster. Remember?
That you could
using
see
the
through?
freaking knife. We
Oh,
were
to
using
hold
the
it down?
knife to hold down.
Yeah.
And then once we
at
couldn't
that
do
point,
that anymore,
I was like, nah.
we replaced it.
Yeah, when the spark came out of it, I was like, all right, we should get a new toaster from Amazon.
Dude, we were the last one, I think, in our family to replace those old ass box TVs for a flat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And we've had the same flat screen TV.
for 8 years.
Exactly.
Well, just to give you an idea.
And we only have one TV in this
Just
house.
to give you an idea, you already know how TVs go, right? Like how much they cost. Because if you walk through a fucking Costco, you'll pick up a 65-inch 4K for $350. And I'm not joking.
Right. And it's nuts.
This one is a 1080p 55-inch that we got for $1,700.
Right.
Like it was
what
one of the first
hell?
like smart TVs.
So funny.
And I have a TV box that kind of gets us the channels and like we get Netflix on there and whatever. And that thing is about as old as the TV is.
There's people laughing at us right now. But so we do pretty well. Now it's clearing things out.
Getting rid of shit that we
right?
haven't
That
used.
we just, like clothing that we haven't wore in a while, just all of that. So I started doing that.
You already started. I haven't started
Right.
it, but I need to.
So we have, friends that are pretty well off. They have, the nice, beautiful, like multi-million-dollar homes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they have all kinds of nice things, but they also work for those.
Right.
Like constant,
Oh, yeah.
right? Just constant work, constant doing.
And the more stuff and the bigger and the nicer.
The more responsibility you have, the more you are locked in. Like, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know if that's the truth. I'm going to have a conversation so I could find out, like, hey, can you have all this and be free? I don't know. Right. But then we also have other friends that are pretty much free. Right.
Yeah.
Like they have a home, small home, nothing crazy, beautiful, very cute home. But then she rents it out as an Airbnb, and she has this cool ass van.
Yeah.
Where she has a kitchen and all this other stuff. So whenever her home is rented out, she goes
camping.
Yeah. And she's very free that way. Like she's an entrepreneur, very free that way.
Yeah.
So I asked Miguel, like it's just something that came up, and it's like, which lifestyle would you prefer?
Yeah. You see, and that kind of goes, that's just an easy example of like the conditioning and the brainwashing of how you feel like you have to do this or you have to do that. There's so many ways. As long as you're getting by in life, why do you have to do anything anyway? Because like you said, your friend does it by renting her place out as an Airbnb, living in like an RV when she's not renting the place out and having a business on the side.
Yeah.
That's not like normal 401k, get a job, do retire, It's like make it work because there are no rules.
But can you have them both?
You keep trying to figure out this. Can you have them both?
It's just, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to come up. The answer's going to come.
No, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You just got to fucking figure it out. She figured it out by doing it that way. If you want to do that, do that.
Well, that's what I mean.
You just got to fucking grow the cojones and do it because you're never going to do it if you just fucking think about it.
Yeah.
Because that, even like what your friend's saying, like what she's doing doesn't seem that difficult to pull off.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So if you want to do that.
Yeah. But when I look at both lifestyles, the one that feels more free to me.
Yes, it is more free. You have to figure out what kind of risk are you willing to take And what are you willing to deal with? What type of, because yes, there will always be that stress. I'll tell you, there was something that the other night I woke up in the middle of the night. But before we get into that, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. When you go to our website, you'll see all the ways that you can follow the podcast. And you'll also see how you can support the show by clicking the support the show tab. That'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link now that Christmas is over and Valentine's Day is coming up, you guys can shop through our link and send us some more money. No, I'm just kidding. But no, if you guys are going to do Valentine's shopping for your significant other, or you're going to get yourself something, do it through our Amazon link and it helps us out. We get a little kickback and it doesn't cost you anything extra. And if you click on that link, you'll also see a way that you can, or another way you can support the show is by going to
buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod, and you can buy us a virtual drink, and you can subscribe to that on a monthly basis as well.
Yep. buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod.
Yes.
So yeah, what were we?
You said that you woke up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So the other night, dude, I woke up partially because I had this gigantic bowl of spaghetti, because at the end of the year,
that's dad spaghetti.
Me especially, have gone off the rails completely. I am eating everything in sight. I am not working out. I'm not waking up. I am still waking up early because that's just part of, like, I just wake up early. But I am eating everything in sight. I'm not working out. I'm not doing shit. And it's okay, because it's coming no matter what. Like, it's on when it's on. But for now, I'm enjoying myself. But the other night I woke up, and I don't know why, but this fucking anxiety thought just like came into my head. Sucks. And it was like this shit's all nice. It was another one of those, like, you got to keep this fucking going, dude. And when does this fucking end? When does the fucking working ever stop? It could end, like, you know, shit changes, like I said. It was one of those fucking thoughts. It was like, shit changes, shit could change, and then what? There's a lot of responsibility going on, you know. There's a lot going on. We live nice. Fuck. Like that, you know? But then at the end, and I was kind of trying to talk to you, like, you know, like I've said on this podcast, there's things like I've been trying to talk to you about this for a while, but then I kind of mentioned something and then I don't say it because I'm saving it for the podcast.
I want to choke him out.
But it was like, just the other day I told you, it was like, it's one of those irrational fears. That's all it was, because I've already gone through it in my head. Yeah. No matter what, because, like, yes, being a man, say what you want, however you believe, there are roles to this thing. There are certain responsibilities. There are reasons why things are the way they are. And as a man, you have a responsibility to your family, right? That's just the way it is. And it's pretty serious sometimes when you really think about it. Like, if everybody's fucking depending on you, you know? But then I think about it and I'm like, I got a lot of fucking skills. I can figure it out. No matter what, I can figure it out. So then, like, it was just like a little, like, holy shit, you know? But then it's like, all right, calm the fuck down. You know, there's a lot of things you could do. You're not like some fucking dumbass, like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to be fucking flipping fries and burgers? It's like, no, calm the fuck down. That's stupid.
Yeah. So this conversation you were having was a conversation with your persona.
Right.
And who you actually are. That whole dialogue was that, your persona. And you being aware, you were able to shut it down.
Yeah. But it took a little bit.
Self-processing. That's the self-processing.
Because it wasn't automatic. You know? Because for a little bit, it was only the thought of, when does this fucking end? Like, I can't stop dancing. I got to wake up and go to work. I got to wake up and go to work. I got to wake up and do this. I got to edit videos because hopefully that one day will do something. Yeah, I got to get up and do this. And then I got to go do that. And then I got to do this. And it's like, when does this shit fucking ever end? And then it's like, oh, well, you know, like I'll just do the things that I love. And then the work stuff, it's okay. If anything ever happens with that, I got skills. I can do stuff. I can do more of the other stuff maybe.
Now.
And that'll take off, you know?
Now, imagine that, okay?
Yeah.
That thought process, and you being, I'm going to fucking give you anxiety again. And you or us having a mountain,
Yes.
montaña
Of a fucking
of
house.
debt.
Oh,
Of debt.
of debt.
House.
Yeah, yeah.
Fancy
No,
cars.
we were talking about that.
toys. Credit cards.
Yeah, because
Right?
at a certain point,
Do you guys just hear the handcuffs and the shackles? Do you feel that when I say that? Because I do.
oh no, there's a saying. I can't remember exactly. It's handcuffs, but it's like
Yeah.
like really fancy handcuffs, pretty
Yeah.
much. Because it's like
It's
if you have
it's the ones it's the furry fluffy.
those are the sex
handcuff-
ones. No,
Yes.
that's not the ones.
That's what I'm visualizing. They make them look pretty, but they're still freaking handcuffs.
That's not
You
the
know?
handcuffs I'm talking about. No, it's but yeah. So like, I mean, we also know some friends, like you said, they're very well off. That's just, it's the same thing on a different level. You know what I mean? Because you have so much money, the money can always run out. You know, like but you have skills, and somehow shit always works out.
Yes.
You're not gonna fucking die.
Well, we've learned to figure some shit out,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah. And no matter what, like, we're in this together. And we
Yeah.
know us.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you were talking about all that, I just can't imagine being in that situation and having this mountain of responsibility and debt.
Yeah.
For me, living life to the fullest is taking off all the handcuffs.
Yeah. That's, man, but what does that even mean?
Well,
Because
for me,
that's
what
like
I
you
mean,
got to have resources upon resources.
but there's
in
a shitload of resources.
different currencies and jet planes to leave when shit is falling apart. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have that kind of money.
But when you don't have responsibility, like, you know, debt and all this other stuff, and you're making the money, you have more resources to do more things, to create.
Well, that is one thing that we were talking about when it comes to the debt. It's like, it's hard to even be creative when you're being suffocated by debt.
Right.
Like, creative to even like try to figure out how to make some money. Because that is one thing that we have always been able to do, is like figure out how to do something on the side, make some extra money, like the next business or something, right? Because
Right.
it's just figuring out something for us. And if you're like just drowning in debt, like that's like the first step. Like just personal debt, credit card debt, that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know?
And for some of you, maybe in 2024, that is your goal, is to get out of debt.
And like minimalizing. And, you know, this kind of goes to the minimalist thing that you were talking about earlier. But earlier today, I went with Audrey to Walmart, and we were driving by Dutch Brothers, and she was like, "Ooh, I want Dutch Brothers," and we already passed it, and I was like, "I'm gonna get her some." So I turned around and we go back, and then we started talking, and I told her, you know, or she was saying, she's like, "I have friends of mine that get this every day." And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, there's some people like it's Starbucks every single day. And I was like, you know what's crazy? I was like, a lot of times people don't even realize it's just a habit that they've developed. They get it every single day. And people will say something sometimes. And you'll like, there's no way that you can go through life without overhearing somebody say, have you heard like how much somebody spends on Starbucks? You know, like how do you fucking go through life and not hear people say something like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's every day. And then sometimes maybe
twice a day.
Maybe it's both of us. We go both. Like you go to Dutch Bros, I go to Starbucks, or we go both to Starbucks every day. And then I was like, how much was your drink? Her drink was like $6.40. I was like, let's just round that down to $6. And let's pretend there's a family of 2 of us and we both get Starbucks every day. I'm like, that's $4,300 in a year. I was like, that is insane. I was like, no matter what the fuck you do, if you make $1 billion, why the fuck are you giving Starbucks $4,300 every year? That is crazy.
Yeah.
Another crazy thought on another note is like when you make that much money, it's better to have somebody else do it because it's actually a waste of your time to make coffee because you're worth so much money, which is crazy. But anyway, and I'm like $4,300. And a lot of times like they know they don't want to stop. They run out of money. And then it's like, I need to borrow money to pay for this or that because something's going to get cut off. But you're charging, like you're running out of money, but then you charge the Starbucks to the credit card.
Oh, no. Oh.
And then you make your minimum monthly payment. I was talking to Audrey about this stuff today. I was like, and then you make your minimum monthly payment because it's easy to, like, you can do $35, $40. And then you go get Starbucks again the next day. You and your husband. Another $14. Until you max out that credit card. And then you can't pay your bill. And then you're asking somebody to borrow money. I'm like, I was like, do you know what that is? I'm like, that's just a lack of self-discipline. I was like, that's all it is. And, you know, we kind of had that conversation. You know, I was like, and that affects everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are the things that we just, as parents, they don't teach this stuff at school. So it's our responsibility to bring this to light and to get them to understand it. Like, did you know, what I just shared with you, what did you hear? Like, what did that mean to you, you know, and get her to tell you.
Yeah.
You and I were having a conversation after we watched
Hitchhiker's Guide?
Not Hitchhiker's Guide.
To the Galaxy?
But the movie about the couple.
The movie about the couple.
Yes. That had been together for a very long time, but were unhappy and.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And how they would just like piss each other off.
Right.
Yeah. That was, it was funny. But at the same time, it was like, they're going to be together, right? So in this movie,
go ahead.
There's this couple and there was just a scene where it was like they were just getting, like just trying to get under each other's skin. Just, I don't know what, but it was like they're both at a point where they've been through so much together, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're just not realizing what they've been through, and they don't, like, they're all they got, right?
Yes.
I don't know exactly how to, yeah.
And Miguel and I, we were, you know, because I put myself in, you know, in their situation. And
yeah, we're always doing that.
Like, just so miserable, like unhappy. But as you watch what's happening, you see that their past is influencing their relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it easier just to call it quits? That's what I was at. Is it easier just to call it quits? But they've been together for, I don't know, 35, 40 years. A long time.
Yeah.
And they're older now. And it's like, do you just throw in the towel? And you said...
Like, what are you going to do? Start dating? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Who's going to be putting up with your shit?
And then starting all like...
After you've been with somebody for fucking 40 years, could you imagine all the fucking shit that you're bringing? Good luck. Good luck.
Or do you get help? You know, like get help to save the relationship, to learn.
You know, yeah. Yeah. And one thing that I told you is like, I always get like this big picture view of like our planet and just like us, kind of that Will Smith thing, that video that I showed you where it just kind of showed like it just zooms all the way out to space, like from the spot that we're on all the way out to space. And I really do look at it like when you're standing outside and you look up into space, you're staring into space. There is nothing holding you. You're not wearing a seatbelt. If for whatever reason gravity stops working, we're gone. And you happen to find somebody that is willing to fucking put up with your shit and live this fucking life with you, and at the same time realizing how lucky you are to be alive right now with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We could have had fucking candles and shit. You know, like that could have been how we lit romantic stuff. Yeah, we could have also like not had toothbrushes. You know what I mean? This is what I mean, is like understanding like this brainwashing stuff too. Understanding how lucky you fucking are to even be listening to this podcast through some headphones. Yeah. Because it could be completely different. You had nothing to do with that. Yeah. That's when I say life is random as fuck. You know what I mean? So the fact that you found somebody to fly through space with you on this fucking rock is pretty damn special.
And being together for as long as they've been together and just working out their differences, learning how to communicate properly, learning healing. There's, you know, figuring shit out, questioning why. And like nobody, the other thing is that these characters have like, they've had a rough past. There's a lot of backstory. There's a lot going on. But I can't remember what the hell. But there's a reason for why things are the way they are. Everybody's got a story. Mm-hmm. We've talked about on here before how nobody gets through life unscathed. Like you can be born into a billionaire family. That's going to come with problems of its own. Maybe you'll be addicted to some shit because your family's never around or whatever. Like, I don't know. But maybe your life is just easy because everything's handed to you. Because you get so much love and support and everything, and you have no motivation to do stuff. Yeah. It's just different. Yeah. Everybody goes through different things, and life is random. So we all, for some reason or another, go through different experiences in life. And if you can understand that, like some people just happen to go through some fucked up shit in life. Right. Huh. How does it not affect you? You know, so that's where like that kind of like that grace that the fucking Bible talks about, like having that grace for yourself and for other people. You know what I mean? Because you had nothing to do with being born in the shit that you were born into. We're doing the best we can flying through fucking space. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. Yeah. Yeah. Just like you're freaking out in your house, the person over there might be fucking freaking out. Like we're all just doing our best.
And then when you figure out that you have somebody with you, you guys have already been through stuff for a long time. Where are you going at a certain point?
Yeah.
Appreciate what you have.
But it's almost like I'm just thinking of.
And the only thing that I would see with that, because at a certain point, you fall into these routines of just being this way with each other,
Right.
of being angry, of just being confrontational.
Right.
I've been in a relationship like that. It was like I was ready to fucking fight as soon as like sight. There's a fucking funny saying like with kids, like on sight, motherfucker, on sight. I'm ready to fucking throw down. You know what I mean? That you don't want to have that relationship with your fucking partner. It's on sight, motherfucker. Wait till I see you.
Oh my God, that'd be horrible.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people fucking live like that. Your fucking husband walks through the door. The wife's like, I've been waiting for your fucking bitch ass. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That is insane. And I know that some people fucking live like that. Because that's like, so when you like you get into this routine and you fucking figure it out, you did this shit with me. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, calm the fuck down. Let's not be on site, both of us, because we can't both be on site at the same time. All right. So if you just like, if I say some stupid shit and you just kind of let it slide because you know I'm fucked up and I've been through some shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I just loved you through it, man.
And then eventually, like, you can't be on site with somebody all the time when they're trying to fucking love you.
Yep. You just shower them with love. That's why I always used to laugh at me because I say love conquers all. It really does. You can't be an asshole to someone who is being loving and kind. You know, like you're having a fit and I'm like, I'm sorry, babe. Like, what can I do to help you?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You come home from work and I can see there's some shit happening. Stressful day. It's like, baby, what can I do to help you? Or just feeding him helps. Like,
yeah, true. But the thing is that, but in the, like, it also depends. Because if you're down to fucking throw down all the time, you have to, like, I have to, or one of us has to just like let it slide for a minute and understand, like, okay, all right, they actually were trying to fucking piss you off, but it's not that big of a fucking deal. Yeah. All right, just relax and maybe do something nice. Yeah. And sometimes that's even like, even if you want to do it that way, because sometimes that's even like, what the fuck?
Like, why are you? Did you ever think that with me?
What'd you put in this sandwich? No, I don't know. That was like so long ago, but I don't know.
And we were that way though,
but
where we were on site. We were on site with each other at the beginning.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. But I always knew when to like chill out, like kind of back, because when I would see you get into a certain state, I already knew like this is not the time to. So just
and there was
step
a lot.
away.
Though I
was
we were young and you also had to learn more about me. I had to learn more about you.
We had to learn more about ourselves. We didn't even know who we were at the time.
So we had to work it out, but it was on site for a little bit.
Yeah. But it is getting to know self, looking in the mirror and not blaming the other person, but what is it that I am doing? What are some things that I can change? Right?
Yeah.
Especially if you've been together for that long. It's like
maybe that's your New Year's resolution.
This far. Yeah, you know, you've came this far together, experienced so much of life together, have kids together, grandkids together, right? It's like, let's figure this out together. Like I fucked up, you fucked up, we're fucked up.
What are we doing? Where are we going?
You know, let's figure this out so that we can have that happily ever after.
And you can.
Yeah, we're living proof of that. And that's why I feel it so deep in my soul that people can be happy together. You know, there's different experience. There's different though, right? Because if there's some abuse, mental, physical, like that's just, we all, you know, in those situations, you have to get help, whether it's a therapist, you know, counselor, coach, whatever.
But, and you can try and it may not work.
But at least you tried.
Right.
Like give it 110%.
And in our case, it worked.
Yeah.
You won me over.
I did. I loved you to love.
Yep. Hey, real quick, before we get out of here, there was something that I wanted to talk about. Another conversation that I had with Joey yesterday. And it came up from, I was watching a video about something and I was going through the comments, and one of the comments said something about that when they were in school, that because of the way school is, that they always felt that they were stupid. For the longest time that they felt that they were stupid. Because of how school is structured and taking tests.
Oh,
and
yeah.
doing
And
all
how
this
they
stuff,
were taught. Yep.
That they always felt like that they were dumb and that they were stupid. And that they just, like, that there was something wrong with them. Like, with their brain. Like, I'm just fucking dumb. You know? Kind of like that. But the video was actually about intelligent people and some of the things that they deal with. And I was talking to Joey, and I told Joey, I was like, you know, there's certain things that you do, I was like, that show how intelligent you are. Like there's something good. There's certain things that you ask, that you'll say, that you think about, that you do. I was like, school doesn't mean everything. And I had to talk to both of the kids about this. I've talked to Audrey, like another conversation today was about her going into honors and all that. And I'm like, I'm super proud of everything that you're doing. I'm like, that doesn't mean everything. And if you like do it, accomplish it, be proud of it. It's like, but that's not everything. You're smart. You're a lot more than just this. Right?
Yes.
And I was telling Joey that just because maybe he has a hard time in school or no, I asked him, I was like, have you ever felt like you were dumb? Like, have you ever felt dumb or stupid when you're doing school stuff or whatever? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I've felt that way too. I was like, but there's things about you that you can see that you're actually very smart, if not smarter than maybe other people. I don't like, there's something. I was like, an example is look at the Rubik's Cubes. Dude, you solve like fucking 8x8 Rubik's Cubes, all different shape Rubik's Cubes. And you just kind of learned it from one to the other. I was like, there's different things. I was like, but there's a lot more to it than just school.
Yeah.
You know? And I talked to him about his brain being a muscle. I was like, and I want you to know that. I was like, but just like anything else, I was like, your brain is like a muscle. I was like, and if you don't use it, it will get dumb. It will become stupid. And if you give it bad things, like junk food, like social media, like YouTube shorts and TikTok and all that bullshit, it does turn into crap. I was like, but you can also give it good stuff. You can learn things and you can grow it like a muscle and become super smart and powerful. I was like, but you have that, you know? And then this morning I went up there. He was kind of being lazy and sleeping, and I just kind of laid down with him. And I was hugging him, and I told him again, I was like, do you know why I love you? Or like, what do I have to do for me to love you? I just told him nothing, you know? There's nothing. And while we were having this whole conversation about him being smart, I always end it with, what can you get better at? And his response is anything.
Yeah.
That's it. I was like, even if there's something that you're not good at, something that you're never going to be good at, you can get better at that. There's some things that you will never be good at. You can still get better at that. You know?
Yeah.
So this next year, we're going to do more of that.
Yep.
Because I've let go of everything in these last couple of weeks. And you know what? I'm actually fucking excited. I'm excited because I'm like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. I could get up to 200 pounds before the end of this fucking break. And I will lose all of it. And I am going to get in the best fucking shape ever. We're going to be firing on all fucking cylinders. It's on. You know?
Yeah.
And I was telling the kids, like all of us, I was like, wait till we fucking hit our stride.
But it's gonna be fun.
It is fun.
That's the thing. It's going to be work, but it's gonna be fun. You know, because a lot of people, when they hear that, like it's on, like it's not just doing, it's being, like becoming, being our best self, whatever that is for us.
If you don't see, for me and for us, I see something in my head. I'm satisfied. Not satisfied. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm good.
Happy.
I could die today.
Yeah, we're happy. We're
But
joyful.
What I see for us, it's just a purpose in accomplishing, in being able to live out what is possible in being, right? We talked about this with our friend BNS, right? What one can be, one must be. Doing that. There's something about doing that when you do the things that you know you're capable of in real life. There's something special. Yeah. And we need to do more of that. And it's coming next year.
We all need to do more of that. More of being.
But you know where that all starts?
In the home. Starts with us.
It starts with discipline. With discipline. Yeah, it starts with discipline.
Discipline equals freedom.
Because you can see it when you hit your stride. Like, I'm not there yet. And what's funny is that I don't know if you ever hit that shit.
Right. Because those that are us.
It's a moving target.
Right. Right. There's different levels and cycles. That's what I call that. There's different levels to
because
this.
You could see how
there's different levels to this game.
Because you could see how you could do it, and then your next picture is like, yeah, I want to do it, but I want to bring people with me.
Right, and that's what it's about.
That's the next vision. The next,
Yeah, and that was the whole reason for this podcast, though.
Right.
That's the whole reason behind this podcast. That's the whole reason
to document that journey.
Coaching. That's the whole reason behind my retreats. That's the whole reason with everything that I do.
Yeah.
Is to help others. We share the good. We share, the bad, or not even bad, but our mistakes and our obstacles, to hopefully help someone that may be going through those same challenges or those same obstacles.
Yeah.
It's to help others by sharing our experiences.
Yep. And we'll keep getting better. Together.
Yes, sir. Hey, don't be taking my line.
And with that. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Get ready for next year.
Yeah, man.
Because it's going to be on. It's exciting.
So.
No matter what, we get to start over. Whatever happened.
Yeah. And this year was good.
2023
was.
And if it wasn't.
Very good. Like, it was good. I learned a lot about me. I think this year was a lot of internal growth for you as an individual.
Yeah.
As well as for me and us as a couple.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this was solid.
Good year.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be better. And with that,
lots of learning, right?
Yep. Make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Like I said before, the best thing that you guys could do is share this with somebody else. Share a clip, share an episode, share something, let them know, tell them to look it up. Have them pull out their phone and have them subscribe so that you can see
right there and then.
That'll help us out.
Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.